All right, you are here and you can hear me. I think more people will be joining soon, but we will start anyways. So, today's topic, can we trust AI? And I believe this will be for a while the final topic in this direction because talking about AI has been very intensive uh, for us, and we will definitely come back to uh, vocabulary, grammar, writing, reading, listening, and so on. But today we are talking about AI again. Yeah, our agenda for today would be um, to figure out what is generative AI, 6 tips for using it in English language teaching, and we will look at how we can work on critical thinking and generative AI. And the last year and half of this year, people started telling their concerns about whether, like, how our job is going to change, considering that there is AI now everywhere. How will education change? What will happen to the news? And whether there will be a lot of fake news because of AI, and how do we check that? And of course, there were people who'd be talking about AI taking over the whole world and controlling people. Yeah, the last one would be quite a conspiracy, but the first 3 are really concerning for us as the teachers, because it will change our jobs, it will change education, and it will require more critical skills to tell fake news from not fake news, fake information, made up information from facts. And this is something we have to we have to take into our uh, job, into our methodology, and actually create uh, on the go, create this new ways of how we're gonna teach while there is AI everywhere. And I have a question to you. It would be really nice to hear some other concerns. I just told you about jobs, about education, and what are your concerns about AI? To answer the questions, this question, you can just scan the code or enter slido.com and enter the code. Let's see. What are the concerns from all of you? Okay, hope you are joining. I know it takes some time. Okay, I see the first answer. Yeah, this is both about work and about education. Using your brain less. We'll see about that today. Because do you think people ever thought like that about book printing, about less thinking, cheating, false pieces of information? Yeah, that's very true. Okay. Problems with creative tasks. Mm-hmm. It makes our knowledge very primitive. It could it could be like that, but at the same time, yeah, AI doesn't really create anything new. But we will come to this. Mm-hmm. Creative tasks. It's really interesting to read what you're writing here. Makes strange creations. Yup, is inevitable our days. Yeah, that's true. All right. Thank you for this discussion. We will get back to some more discussions a little bit later. But I will just share from my experience of studying with AI. I asked to make a list of books that would fit my topic in my research paper. And yeah, I asked it find 10 scholarly articles, and it made up articles. It made up the names of the articles and people who uh, wrote these articles. So yeah, it does make strange creations. But what is AI? So first of all, uh, it's not scary when you know what it is. And AI dates back to 1943 when Warren McCulloch and Walter Pitts were creating a mathematical model which was similar to neural networks, and they put neuron at the center of their model as a basic unit to process information in the brain. These are Mr. Warren and Walter. This is their picture. I double checked it. It's them. And yeah, so it has quite a history, and it was developing from that time. And the main idea is that there is a way with the deep learning, there is a way of a machine to find the best solutions from point one to point two, or through other points, and make patterns and to use these patterns. And it does work like human's brain, or it rather works as a good team of people who find the way to solve a problem, and they um, practice it, and then it becomes a habit, right? So it's actually the way of a habit, tradition or rule that everybody observes in some company, for example. And this is how, for example, the face recognition works for our phones. It's also based on AI. It just learns the pattern. So, this is your face, and it lets you into your to your data on the phone. This is also AI. And when we think of generative artificial intelligence, which is the generative language models like Bard, which now has a different name, I suppose, Bard, ChatGPT, and others like that. But when this OpenAI, this ChatGPT was the first day when it appeared to be available for the publicity, the first question I asked it, I will show you. This was my first question, like, what's your ethical background? And it told me this. I don't possess personal experiences or beliefs, including ethical ones. However, I'm designed to promote ethical behavior by adhering to guidelines set forth by my developers, and so on and so on. So it doesn't have any ethical background. It doesn't have any empathy, sympathy, feelings, emotions, or anything. It's just a tool. So it's just a machine that and yeah, and again, this is just mathematical model which just finds patterns and uses a huge database of texts. And we need to remember that um, the second thing we need to remember, that it's the first one, what it is, yeah, and that is quite useful, and this is mathematical. The second, it doesn't have beliefs, experiences, feelings, and so on, and you can ask him about it, or her, whatever it is. The third thing we should remember about generative AI, it makes things up. And here goes my favorite part of the webinar. I had some fun preparing for it. So I asked the chat to tell me Mikhail Semenko's biography. This is Mikhail Semenko, and get set go. Brace yourselves. Here it is. And I will ask you to type in the chat if you can see any mistakes in this text. Not grammar mistakes, the content mistakes. I'm asking you to read that and spot mistakes. Okay, I'm going here. Date of birth, numbers. I have to tell you, my first education is in Ukrainian literature and language, and I'm a huge fan of Mikhail Semenko. And when I saw this, this is just crazy. And actually, yeah, the dates are all wrong. Let's have a look, because it didn't end just like this. And I'm telling this chat, like, well, this is not his biography. It says apologies, um, different date, but mostly the same. Added some information about identity, politics, I don't know. Um, well, known for his innovative language, yeah, could be. But again, killed in a car accident in 2015. And group Bubabu, which is very strange thing to tell about Mikhail Semenko. And again, but he was born in 1892, I'm telling to ChatGPT. And this is what he says. I provided information about a different Mikhail Semenko. The one you're asking about, there is no information on the internet. And that is quite true, because he's a Ukrainian poet. There is some information on him on Wikipedia, and maybe some other resources, but not that much. And ChatGPT analyzes news, analyzes uh, more recent information, and this is something you can find only in Ukrainian, most probably, or you can find it in a book. And there are so many other so many uh, other things in this biography. I will show you this once again, because this is like a biography of Andruchovich, Kuzma Skryabin, Semenko, and some other people taken all together and generated into one text. And this could be really a really interesting task for your students to understand whose biography is taken into the basis of this funny, strange text. And yeah, and if you know something about literature, about Ukrainian poets, you might spot all the fallacies right away. And this is quite dangerous at the same time, because this is what happened with Novy channel, Ukrainian channel, that posted biography of Oles Gonchar, which was very much inaccurate. It said that he went to the USA, that he had to work in Germany, and many other strange things. And this is how it often happens with people's biographies, because AI doesn't give you facts. It just uh, generates something that looks like a biography, but it's not. And so you cannot really write a proper text, or it won't be very helpful with the research, because you will have to do all the fact checking yourself anyways. And again, this could be a really great task, and you can show this news to your students, that this has happened to real journalists. Let's be let's be honest, let's be better, and let's have a look at what we can find and how we can critically look at this text. And you can ask students to make a biography of someone, of some Ukrainian artist, and then find what's wrong. And this will be much more interesting for them to research this biography. Okay. Uh, and yeah, teach your students to check all the facts for sure. And this could be a great example. Like, Google the date. What happened on this date when they said that Semenko was killed in a car accident, and how he really died? Make a table of comparison, a fact and a fallacy from ChatGPT. This would be also a very interesting task to do. And this is a great resource. I can't say it's for students, but it's a great resource for you to have a look at it. It compares all the news all over the world in very different resources. And you can see here news from Ukraine war, for example. It gives you news and all the resources that covered it. And you can compare all of them, for example, most covered by, you see by whom, and yeah, and you can make a comparison for yourself to see how what really news were. Okay, and you can share it with maybe your colleagues from abroad. Content that trains generative artificial intelligence. Very often there might be strange content like hate speech, hate content, or something like that. Of course, in the new generative models, they are trying to make ethical limitations, but at the same time, the content that trains the artificial intelligence is mostly from news, social media, and other resources where people are communicating and creating texts that generative AI can take as an example of a text that people use, and take just the mechanism and again study from you, but it again it's not reliable resources. It's just more like a game. It can optimize your work, but you need to check the reliability. At the same time, we need to remember this is number four thing to know about AI. It has a great potential. For example, doctors, scientists, researchers built an artificial intelligence model that can accurately identify cancer. And this is quite a breakthrough in medicine. At the same time, my friend, for example, he is a head of a company that deals with AI. They make voice, and this this is AI that trains how to provide the same voice, but the text can be told by somebody else. So we don't need, for example, voiceovers, and the thing will be told with the voice of the same person. It might be dangerous, but they are trying to use it for people who lost their voice, but there are recordings and they can use machines that would be speaking in their own voice, but not the machine voice. And this is quite impressive as well, also used for medicine. Now, when we look at how exactly we can use generative models for English language speaking, first of all, it's of course generate ideas for classroom activities. For example, this is the job that AI did really well. Make a list of essay topics for B1 level students of English in the umbrella topic ecology. And this is what it gave me, a huge list of really great topics, and I don't have to sit down and think about the topics on my own. This is a great thing. Of course, you have to edit and make it more more fitting to your ideas, but yeah, but it can generate idea and be your body while you are preparing for your lessons, and really be very helpful, like a colleague with whom you can discuss. So which topics shall we give our students? Do you think this is appropriate for this level? And so on. So we can keep this conversation, or make up a list of 5 sentences in present perfect continuous for B2 level students. If we think that it's not enough in our textbook, then we can ask AI to make tasks for us. Okay. Now, we will try one of the tasks that later on you will be able to give your students. Suggest a request to generative AI for your lesson needs. Like I just showed you before, make a list of topics, make sentences. Now, in this Slido session, I will ask you to make a request. What might you need at your lesson that you can create together with the generative AI? Okay, there are still no people here. Ah, yeah, there are some. Prepare a PowerPoint presentation. It doesn't make presentations, just texts. An example of an essay, 150 words on any topic. Okay. Top 10 list of most popular films. Online games for speaking using past simple or present conceit. Present perfect tenses. Create a short quiz. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's a good one. Create tasks for the text, and you just insert the text. Wow, that's a funny one. Taras Matvichuk. Thank you for that one. 10 popular superheroes. Great. Someone is writing in the chat. True or false vocabulary, grammar tests. Yeah, okay, I think this is enough. Very important point here that we need to be quite precise with the prompts we're giving to the AI, because the more specific the prompt is, the better will be outcomes. Uh, Once again, let your students use generative AI tools to develop their critical thinking and digital literacy. You can make pros and cons tasks with generative AI, classroom debate, project work, and other things. And we will have a look later in the next section of the webinar. We will have a look at how it might be done. And give your students an opportunity to learn how to use Gen AI tools creatively and collaboratively. Excuse me. Okay. For example, I will continue with my Mikhail Semenko project and his biography. And there is another generative AI, but it creates images. It's called GenCraft. I think as of now it's my favorite, the easiest one. And yeah, you describe what you want to see, and it gives you an image. And so here I have avant-garde poet. I just wrote avant-garde poet to illustrate my made-up biography. Uh, and it gave me this. I'm like, okay, I should make a different prompt. Avant-garde poet, man, 1920s. This looks much more precise, but he looks like Buster Keaton too much. So I might be specifying more and more to finally get the image that satisfies me. And again, I can ask to make it a cartoon, not an image like a photo image or something. It can be a cartoon, it can be a 3D cartoon, and I can specify all those things. For example, to illustrate my PowerPoint presentation, or to illustrate, uh, I don't know, poster or just the writing task. Okay, we have some questions here. Yeah, you can create. No, I think I was creating more of those. You just sign up and that's it. And yeah, what are the main tips? This is for your students to, and for you, of course, to remember. First, be careful of what you enter into generative AI tools. For example, if some of the students enter their personal information into the chat box, this personal information can be used with other users of the same chat box. And of course, we don't know who they are. So it is forbidden to enter any personal information there. And at the same time, it is forbidden to enter any information, any data that is copyrighted, unless you written it yourself or you have a written consent on using it. This is quite serious, and we need to teach our students that if they enter some text that they took, but it's copyrighted and it's not there in the public use on the internet, this is forbidden. This is very wrong to do so. It's like stealing. Second tip would be carefully check anything that generative AI bot produces, because there is the whole word for it, and I think I was mentioning it in other webinars, which is called hallucination. AI hallucinates a lot, like with Mikhail Semenko biography I showed you. It's a complete hallucination. And yeah, and it was the word of the year in 2023 because there were a lot of cases of AI hallucinating. Of course, it's learning, of course, it's improving, but still, it's not a real person to produce the new texts. It's not a history book to keep the facts in order. It's just a generator of all the texts that exist. And yeah, and still, if you are making worksheets, if you're making texts for your students as additional materials, you should remember that it's still better to use a course book materials, like Cambridge is still better than AI, at least for now. Maybe it will improve and we won't need books anymore. But still, it's better to use authentic materials. And with AI, you can just play, but mostly to teach your students how to work with it critically, how to use it as a tool, but not as a cheating friend or anything like that. Number 3, master the art of prompt writing. For example, I was asking AI to give me a text for A1 level students, B2 level students, and it kept giving me texts that include vocabulary from different levels. Like on A2, there would be words from C1 and so on. It's easier for generative AI to produce more proper information if, for example, I prompt beginner level, intermediate, pre-intermediate, advanced using words, because it really has problems with CFR levels, understanding them. And in the prompts, it's better to use words, not like numbers and letters or other symbols that mark something else. So just the words and very direct, specific words. Talk to your students about plagiarism and cheating. You can have a task with your students where you make a table of pros and cons of generative AI. You can make this table of real fact and AI generated fact and really have fun around it, make fun of what it wrote. And then you can make this table of pros and cons, and you can actually consult ChatGPT, like what are pros and cons of using generative AI, and it will tell you a lot of interesting things again, but I will not show them here. And try to honestly talk to your students instead of just forbidding them to use it when they're doing their writing tasks or something. Have an honest conversation and let them learn, maybe from their own mistakes, but let them learn how to use it and teach them how it can be done. And activities using generative AI tools are better suited for older students, of course, because younger students would be more using pictures more and listening tasks and so on. So they do not work with the language as a system yet. And those students who understand language as a system and understand or are able to understand how these AI models are functioning, how exactly they are generating texts by just combining the mechanisms all together, but not the facts. And again, ChatGPT has age limitation of 13, and Google Bard, for example, has limitation 18 years old in Europe and 13 in the rest of the world. And in Europe, it's forbidden to use Google Bard when you are not 18. And that's for a reason. But at the same time, honest conversation first. And check whether your institution is happy by you using generative AI tools or not, because most probably in future there will be some more regulations on it, and it's better to understand whether it's okay to use it or not okay at your school, and of course consult with the parents. And it's better if students work with this AI apps and tools in the classroom, but don't use those on their own. And there should be parents' consent on using generative AI tools in studying. And now coming to critical thinking and generative AI. So it's a good idea to combine AI with the course book materials to enhance learners' critical thinking, as I showed you with the biography. And how exactly it can be done. Critical thinking. Important to remember that there is a huge, wonderful brochure from Cambridge University Press and Assessment created by the Language Research Department on critical thinking, and you can have a look at all the can-do statements and all the core areas and components of critical thinking as the competence, and even the example language that students will use if they think critically. Yeah, it consists of these three main core areas: understanding and analyzing ideas and arguments, evaluating ideas and arguments, solving problems, and making decisions. These are the three main areas of critical thinking. They are subdivided into smaller ones, but these three are important to remember. So what we can do, we go to one of the tasks for project work from, the task is taken from Think Third level 3, Think Second Edition level 3. And the task is to write a book review. It's an online task. It can be done by your students on their phones or on their laptops. In any interface it can work. And here is the task. They prepare, they warm up for this book review, and then the idea is to plan their book review project with brainstorming, then research, and then practicing their presentation, making the presentation and practicing their presentation. And here is one of the tasks that is on the stage of research. So they do a research on the book, and we try to apply all the three core areas. Understanding and analyzing ideas and arguments would go to the research on the book reviews that were already made on the book they have chosen. Yeah, after the introduction, information about the story of the book and where and when the story happens, and opinions. We might ask students to look at other opinions on this book, and to make a research, but and then to ask, for example, any generative AI to write a review on the book. This is also a very fun task. It might write a very strange review on the book where the characters are completely different, and we will ask your students, we will ask our students to analyze what is a fact, what is not, what is considered to be the most interesting part, what's not, and so on. So we analyze, then we evaluate ideas and arguments. And then we find a solution that this part of the book review made by ChatGPT or anything, this part is good, we take it into our presentation, and this part is all fake, doesn't respond to reality, and we just don't take it. And for the moment of evaluation, we can ask students questions when they read the text that generative AI generated. Other points made in the text, the most important points to consider, or they are not important. Which of the points are the most important? Does the chatbot choose the right point to focus on? Does the chatbot use the real facts? Does the chatbot actually write a book review on the book we requested, or it made up the whole new book? So these would be the questions to analyze the text on the content. Yeah, if you want to learn more, you can always go to our website, where we are trying to keep you updated with different articles and sets of articles on different topics. We will happily share digital literacy brochure and digital literacy activity cards that you can use at your lessons. And we will share it after the webinar in 5 days. You will have access to those. And as of now, I will ask you to type here what was the most memorable part of the session today. This is for me to understand how to prepare for the next sessions, and which ideas I should take and which ideas I should throw away. Waiting for you in the Slido again. Ah, come on. Thank you very much. But I'm really asking you to be specific on numbers problem. Yeah, it's not like numbers not problem. It's rather CFR levels understanding problem. Tips. Okay, I will be writing now. Tips. Next time we'll focus on some tips. Funny moments. Okay, jokes are good. Sides, I think, like different sides. accurate correspondence. Yeah, prompting in a right way so it understands exactly what you want and using words. And by the way, this is another thing to tell your students, that if you write your word grammatically incorrect for ChatGPT, it will not understand you. So you need to already know the language to talk to it properly, and so it answers. We have to analyze the information AI creates. Yeah, fun facts. Yes. Okay. What else? Ways of using an ELT. Mm-hmm. Different sides. And someone is writing in the chat. Okay. Um, I'll go to the chat and see what's going on there. Maybe someone has questions. Should we teach students the ethics, how to use AI? We definitely should. As I was telling you, we need to have an honest conversation. But I would say that, first of all, as all the ethics in the world are based on reasoning, and reasoning is the basics of critical thinking. We need to teach our students that this is a tool, like uh, just as the pen. The pen will not write a story uh, instead of you. You use it to write a story, but it will not do your job for you. And the same happens with AI. It's a miracle of mathematics, as well as a pen once upon a time was a miracle of, I don't know, chemistry, together with ink. But this is a tool, and a tool is stupid, and you are smart. And this is how I would explain it to the students. So you think, and you use the tool while thinking, and you think how to use this tool properly, and we can teach them. So I would start with the thinking, and then about ethics, it's a little bit different conversation, like not using ChatGPT to write a story for you. It first comes from thinking, from developing our students' thinking skills. Okay. Um, don't trust AI completely, for sure. So, answering the question, or the whole topic of this webinar, no. Can we trust AI? No. Is it good for us? Yes. It's like trusting a pen. Why would I trust a pen, if it produces words without me? Okay. The most memorable was to check all the facts. Thank you. Do different AI differ? Uh, Mostly no. As a mathematical computing model, they are all the same. If we are talking about generative AI, like ChatGPT or Google Bard, they have the same idea. But with the details, of course, they are a little bit different. They might be using different database. They might be using different algorithms of studying, but mostly they work like a network, like a neuron. like human brain that studies making a path from one neuron to another neuron and creating a habit and learning like that. Okay, thank you. Recording of the webinar. Yeah, no problem. We will put it on our YouTube channel, and we will share information on our Facebook page. Regarding the conference, March 27, 29, I think they have already been sent. Not sure whether they have been delivered. Okay, thanks a lot. Using Slido, that's also a great thing. Resources to follow up. Well, if you have more questions, you can ask. And we have podcasts from Cambridge. We have our Facebook page. Please sign up and like at least something so we understand we're not doing all this content just for nothing. So please put your likes and hearts there, or pluses or anything, so we understand that, yeah, that we have some social group that actually reads all of that. And we have a wonderful blog, A World of Better Learning, that and there is a section technology and digital would be great to check out for you. And yeah, more articles on our linguist website. And ideas how to develop digital literacy. Well, it's all already in our books, in the tasks like on Collaboration Plus or Presentation Plus, in all the Cambridge materials, Think, Prepare, Superminds, Kids Box, and others. And on Cambridge One, there are training sessions for teachers for free. You will train and get your certificate that you can teach with Cambridge One. You can teach with all the tools and all the course books that you're using. Thank you. With university students, that's great. We also have a mini website, Your Digital Journey with Cambridge, where you can find all the information on digital products, pedagogy, well-being, learning, assessment, and much more. The certificates will be generated by AI. Certificates will be generated in 5 days, and I will send them out in 5 or 6 days. You will receive all the certificates and the program. The official distributor of Cambridge in Ukraine is Linguist Company. So if you want anything to check out some books or you need to talk about the books, contact your representative to learn more. Your representative in the Linguist Company is always happy to answer. It's also me, and I am a consultant, and your representative in Linguist Company will be responsible for telling you about the discounts and so on, and I can tell you about what's inside the book. So feel free to contact me or in the contact form, tell us that we want representative to contact us, and they will. This is it from me. Thank you very much. It was a great pleasure talking to you today, and I'm waiting for your ideas for the next webinar. Most probably it's already set, but still we are collecting ideas anyways, because there are more and more sessions to provide. Thank you.